Welcome to Airborne on 88.5 FM and staugustine.com, bringing interesting people to your world so you can stay dialed into your community and the folks to make it tick. I want to welcome to Airborne the Senior Communications, specialist with the St. Johns County Water Management District.
A first correction, not St. Johns County. St. Johns River Water Management District.
Thank you for validating my mediocrity. I want to welcome Teresa Monson. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
It's good to have you here on Airborne. And I have a question for our viewers who may not know what the St. Johns River Water Management District is or does. Who are you? What do you guys do? What are water managers?
Well, your little slip of the tongue is a very common misconception. We are actually a regulatory agency of the state of Florida and one of 5 water management districts within the state of Florida's boundaries. And our main function is to ensure, I'm going to talk the language, ensure the sustainable protection of our water resources. By saying that, basically what that means is that we want to make sure that there's enough water above ground in our rivers, lakes, and streams, and below ground in our Florida and aquifer system to be a resource for future generations, not just us.
I see. So that is made up, when we talk about water managers, we're talking about a lot of scientists. Don't you all have all kinds of scientists on staff?
Yes, I'm actually one of the minority by being in an office of communications, because most of our staff consists of engineers, scientists, and all different kinds. We have wetland scientists, we have hydrologists, you name it, we pretty much have it, and they're all wonderful and wonderfully trained.
And these people have to all agree. How often
well,
is that?
We know that doesn't really happen. No, scientists, they sometimes don't agree, but that actually ends up with a better product at the end of things.
Obviously. Now, there's a big initiative coming up with the Water Management District about the rest of us, our usage, our water usage at home, that sort of thing. And I believe it's in March, this coming March 2009, is that correct?
That's right, March 8th, 2009.
Tell our viewers what's coming up and what we should be paying attention to.
Well, what we have done is our district governing board on December 9th adopted a new rule that imposes some additional restrictions on our water use. So, and this is specifically focused on our outdoor irrigation.
Well, this is a new rule, but we've had water restrictions before, haven't we? How long have we had those sort of things?
We have had water restrictions in place for 16 years. Our first rule went into effect in 1991, but it really just dealt with the 10 to 4 rule, which you've probably heard if you've been here a long time.
Yes.
And basically what that rule did was it said no irrigation between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. any day. Well, then in 2006, we strengthened the rule to where we said that you could water no more than twice a week.
Right.
But that rule basically gave us, the water users, the ability to choose our own days, which basically made enforcement very difficult.
Right, because I know I've seen businesses that are sometimes watering between those hours. Are they allowed to? Are they out of compliance? How is it? How do you keep track of that?
Well, it depends. There are many businesses that are using reclaimed water, and reclaimed water is one of the exceptions to the rule. But most of us do not have access to reclaimed water yet, even though more and more entities are going to reclaimed water. More and more utilities are using their treated wastewater and putting it in that purple pipe and getting it out into the community. But for the most part, we are subject, you and I are subject to whatever the water restrictions happen to be.
So are you all at the St. Johns River Water Management District the police? Are you the folks who enforce, or are there other entities that do so?
Some of both. We do have the ability to enforce, but the process by which we can pursue the violations is very bulky. We do not have police powers, so we have to go through a process called consent orders.
Right.
And consent orders are basically voluntary. What we have done is asked local governments to adopt local ordinances that are consistent with our rule. And by doing so, it gives them the authority to enforce the local ordinance, which is our rule.
Right.
So they can set their own penalties and collect the whatever penalty money is comes from that.
Mm-hmm. In our own worlds, in our own households, there are certain things that are classic water wasters. Can you share with us some of the things we might be able to look at to make sure we're not just letting it all go down the drain, so to speak?
Can you guess what number one would be? Take a wild guess.
It might be the washing machine or the dishwasher. I don't know. Am I close? Or?
On your property, most
Right.
people on your property, the biggest water user is your lawn.
Yeah.
Is your
yeah.
lawn. And most homes, more than 50% of the water, your household water, is going toward your lawn and landscape.
A crop that doesn't feed anybody.
Go figure. But they are often beautiful. So what we try to recommend people do is to replace some of that lawn and landscape material, that lawn, that turf grass, with water-wise landscaping material.
Is that what the term xeriscaping is referring to?
Right. Xeriscape is actually a trademark term for a facility out in Denver,
I didn't
Colorado.
know that.
So what we've sort of coined our own term. It's Florida Water-Wise Landscaping.
Yes.
And I actually have brought you a lovely coffee table book.
Beautiful.
Called Water-Wise Florida Landscapes. And it's a great book because not only does it tell you how to water-wise landscape your lawn, it also gives you a very significant number of plants that you can place in your lawn. So anyway, this is for you.
Thank you.
The
And
season of giving.
It's beautiful, and it actually, as you're describing it, it's got charts that tell you basically when they can be watered, that sort of thing. That's beautiful. Shrubs. So this helps somebody be able to choose wisely. And I think I've also heard the term Florida-friendly landscaping.
Mm-hmm.
You might say that, or water-friendly, as you say. Well, first of all, where can someone acquire something like this?
And I was trying to make you think that it was exclusive, but it's it's not. People can go online to our website, www.sjrwmd.com, and order a copy for themselves.
St. Johns River Weapons of Mass Destruction. No, I'm just kidding. I have WMD.
No,
I'll think about
not
it
today.
that way.
It's got a lot of tips, and it'll have a lot of information about our upcoming campaign. We will be doing an outreach campaign and some advertising and letting folks know that this is out there and this is coming, and hoping to get into some schools and do some more presentations on it.
That makes sense. And I hope you can come back to the St. Augustine Record and Airborne and keep us abreast of how these things are developing as they develop and as restrictions and different sort of things come up. I hope we can enjoy having you back.
I would love to come back.
Excellent. Well, thank you. We've been Airborne with Matt Jeffs on 88.5 FM and staugustine.com, bringing interesting people to your world so you can stay dialed into your community and the folks who make it tick. See you next time, folks.